As an introduction, pollution can be defined as the spread of hazardous materials into the environment. There are some types of pollution which are air pollution and water pollution. This pollution is caused by human activity in line with the technology advance. The common pollution in Southeast Asia is air pollution. Air pollution is a condition in which there is a change in the quality of the air. The air has been mixed with chemical particles or the presence of pollutants that are harmful to life. In Southeast Asia, Indonesia was the most polluted country, followed by Myanmar. According to the World Air Quality Report 2020, Indonesia was the most polluted country with a 2020 PM2.5 annual concentrations over 40.8% greater than the second-ranked country of Myanmar, which is 29.4%. Based on the World Air Quality Report 2021, Indonesia continues to be the region's most polluted country with a 2021 PM2.5 annual concentration 34.3% greater than the region's second-ranked country of Myanmar, which is 25.9%. The other pollution in Southeast Asia is water pollution. Water pollution is a change that occurs to water in terms of contents or color. There are chemicals that cause the water pollution such as solids, liquids, and gas. In Southeast Asia, Mekong River is the most popular river pollution. The Mekong River is the 12th longest river in the world and is a major source of water for drinking, fishing, and agriculture. However, the river is also a dumping ground for garbage and waste sediments that making it one of the most polluted rivers in Southeast Asia.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Siti Syafiqah bint Abdul Hadi and my metric number is 2020601624. And now, I would like to present for the issue of pollutant in Southeast Asia. First issue we found, which is water pollution that leads to waterborne disease. In recent years, water pollution is one of pollution of the environmental concern resulting from the rapid economic development of Southeast Asia. If you know, water pollution has the most significant impact on human health in Southeast Asia according to the World Bank. In recent years, the frequency of waterborne disease caused by contaminated water has become widespread, including disease caused by mosquitoes breeding in stagnant water such as dengue and malaria. Alright, next, the second issue is about air pollution is caused by forest fire and the increase in vehicle production. There is also the issue of forest fire, which is our common method of land clearing. As a result of this activity, biodiversity has seen unexpected cross-border repercussions and air quality issues have gotten worse to the point where they are comparable to haze. Forest fire also cause haze in several countries including Indonesia, Malaysia, Brunei Darussalam, and Philippines. Production of vehicles also play a role in affecting poor air quality as well. Because of that, there have a consequence of increased fossil fuels use in average annual growth in the transportation industry. Based on the data, Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia has affected in increasing in average annual growth from 1971 to 2008, which are Malaysia average annual growth in the transportation industry increased by 6.7%, while Thailand increased by 6.6%, and Indonesia also increased about 6.3% as well. Malaysia energy consumption from fossil fuels in the transportation sector is predicted to be 50%, which is the highest in Asia. Rapid urbanization which affect population, economic growth, and service activity, especially in the city core, has an impact on traffic emission as well. And last but not least, is about issue of deforestation that causes biodiversity loss and soil erosion. If you know, the greatest forest area in Southeast Asian nation are Laos, Brunei Darussalam, and Malaysia, while the greatest rainforest areas are also found in Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines. According to the most recent data, the region average deforestation rate is about 1.7%. This means that it equates to 2.4 million hectare loss of natural forests. The main causes of these losses are logging, shifting, cultivation, and conversion to farms. Finally, erosion and pollution are the causes of soil deterioration. The thinning of the topsoil is caused by deforestation in Southeast Asia, which is largely caused by surface water erosion. Based on the data, with 36.5 million people affected in a soil fertility that's declining in Thailand, Cambodia, and Myanmar, we can see that there is a great deal of waste going in Southeast Asia country, and that these pollutants are affecting people's life day by day.
The rising number of air pollutants has made breathing fresh and clean air in Southeast Asia region next to impossible. The situation becomes more worse since air pollutant cannot be seen with our naked eyes. In order to understand the source of air pollution, we need to analyze the basic causes of air pollution. There are two basic causes of air pollution in Southeast Asia region. Firstly, the haze. Haze is a suspension of numerous extremely small and dry particles in the air that give the air an opalescent appearance. In the Southeast Asia, the spread of haze comes from Kalimantan and Sumatra, Indonesia. In that country, there is high demand in the agriculture sector, but with limited space available to execute it. Due to that, Indonesian farmers decide to clear the forest in order to prepare land for the agriculture sector. Since they used slash and burn method to clear the forest, there was a massive forest burning. The El Nino phenomenon worsens the condition since the dry and hot weather are the perfect combination to spark the burning activities. As the disaster usually takes place during southwest monsoon, the wind becomes very strong, thus helping spread the haze toward neighboring countries, especially toward Malaysia Peninsula. The transboundary haze eventually causes other countries to experience haze and increase the air pollution in that country. For example, in the year 2019, Singapore and Indonesia was blanketed by haze comes from Indonesia. Secondly, the sources of air pollution comes from transportation sector due to the fact that the emission of dangerous air pollutant from the vehicle contributing to polluted the airs. The example of dangerous air pollutant such as carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and oxide of nitrogen. As we can observe in the urban area, the air is more polluted compared to the rural areas. It is because there is an abundance of vehicles on the road as they frequent experience traffic jam every day in urban areas such as in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Jakarta, Indonesia, and Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. An abundance of vehicles on the road happens due to the insufficient public transport system. Insufficient means there is not enough infrastructure for public transport, and using public transport consumes a lot of time compared to drive your own transport. As a matter of fact that in Malaysia, people stop depending on public transport as there is a frequent breakdown of train and monorail and the inaccurate bus schedule. Rising number of water pollutant has made drinking clean water in Southeast Asia region next to impossible. The situation becomes more worse since water pollutant cannot be seen with our naked eyes. In order to understand the sources of water pollution, we need to analyze the basic causes of water pollution. There are two basic causes of water pollution in Southeast Asia region. Firstly, the agriculture waste was the source of water pollution. Southeast Asia was the world's second largest exporter of agriculture products. In coincidence to that, most of the rivers in that region suffer from water pollution caused by agricultural waste. The waste consists of agrochemical, organic matter, sediment, and saline drainage. For example, the water pollution that happened in Mekong River also affected several countries, since the river flows throughout the countries. The water pollution that happened in the Mekong River, since these agricultural wastes are directly charged into the river in a high volume without being filtered first. In a long period of time, this wastage will form a thick sediment in the river and pollute the ground of the river. As a result, the soil will be polluted. Due to that, it will eventually turn the clean water into polluted water. Next, the basic causes of water pollution is industrial waste. Industrial waste come from the industrial sector. Due to that, this scenario happens when the wastage are being improperly managed by the industrial sector and causing harm to the human health and environment. The problem usually arises when the industry fails to prepare a proper treatment facility to treat the dangerous waste such as chemical waste due to high costs. So, the industry take the easy way to destroy the wastage by releasing it directly toward the river without being treated first. In return, it will diminish the quality of water and eventually pollute the water. These untreated wastage are dangerous toward the sustainability of the river since it is toxic, ignitable, corrosive, and reactive. For example, the incident in Sungai Kim Kim that was polluted by chemical wastage causes temporary closure of 111 schools in the Pasir Gudang area and also affected several industry and communities for about 2 weeks.
Assalamualaikum. I am Wan Nurdayana Safia binti Wan Azidi, and I will continue with the implications of air pollution first. Air pollution is the type of pollution that can threaten people's life. This is because without clean air, we cannot breathe properly, therefore will affect our life expectancy. To be clear, countries in Southeast Asia with high air quality index will eventually make its people to be exposed to diseases such as asthma and emphysema. And for the long-term effect, it might worsen to lung cancer, cardiovascular diseases, chronic respiratory illness, and allergies. All of these diseases are harmful as they can shorten the average people's life. In Southeast Asia region, Indonesia is the most polluted country among the other countries. The air is not hygienic, thus making its people to breathe toxic air, which can cause damage to their health. Besides that, air pollution can also contaminate water and soil. This happens when the surface of the water and soil are exposed to the toxic air. And this will create a bad impact on the people as it can kill crops and also reduce their yield. And since the soil is no longer fertile, young trees and other plants will also be killed due to lack of nutrient from the soil. Next, I will move on to the implication of water pollution. The first implication is that water pollution can cause loss of clean and safe water sources for daily usage. As we all know, our economy sectors such as manufacturing, farming, tourism, recreation, and so on depend entirely on clean water to well function and flourish. But unfortunately, due to this water pollution, all of these economic activities are interrupted. Besides that, Mekong River in the Philippines is also known as one of the most polluted rivers in Southeast Asia. This river has become a dumping ground for garbage and waste deposits, and this makes the water level to vary and it becomes worse when the climate changes. Furthermore, water pollution also causes the people to lose their food and water resources. They don't even have clean, healthy, and safe water to drink. And the second effect of water pollution is that it can cause the marine species to extinct. This is because water pollution may also be caused by plastic pollution, where plastic wastes are being thrown into the river. And all of the plastic waste will end up in the ocean. And this will result in more than 800 marine and coastal species being affected by this pollution, either through ingestion, entanglement, or other dangers.
Due to the increasing population in Southeast Asia, the pollution that occurs in this particular surrounding also stated the increasing order. By such a thing, the pollution that rises in Southeast Asia is generally caused by its users, which is human beings. Nevertheless, although much of the pollution that occurs was originally due to the human, ASEAN members will not just observe. There are efforts shown by the ASEAN organization where they are doing their best to curb the spread of both air pollution and water pollution in the Southeast Asia region. As the spreading of haze pollution within the Southeast Asia region, ASEAN decided to form an agreement in order to try their very best to curb the pollution from becoming even worse. The main purpose of this agreement is to reduce the haze pollution in Southeast Asia region. The first step is to control burning, which means any fire, combustion, or smoldering that occurs in the open air. And in this step, the nation laws, rules, regulation, or guidelines were taking control over this to prevent the cause of fire outbreaks and transboundary haze pollution. The next step is to recognizing the potential fire-prone areas. This means any areas that defined by the national authorities as areas where fire are most likely to occur or have a higher tendency to occur. The third step is to recognizing the haze pollution in Southeast Asia region. By recognizing the spot or areas that stated the frequent cases of haze pollution, the government are able to plan a better way to stop from spreading to other places. Collaborate with partnership is one of the efforts to curb the pollution in Southeast Asia region. As example, ASEAN has collaborated with China in 2010 in order to promote regional cooperation on the environment between AMS and China through China-ASEAN Environmental Cooperation Center. Instead of that, ASEAN also has collaborated with Japan, which has been providing strong support to promote environmentally sustainable cities in this region. ASEAN also have continuous efforts in environmental protection through policy dialogue and harmonization in order to create the awareness among the citizens. In 2015, ASEAN leaders has adopted ASCC Blueprint 2025, which envision an ASEAN community that will engage the benefit the people and is inclusive, sustainable, resilient, and dynamic. The blueprint are able to guide ASEAN cooperation in order to include the conversation as well as sustainable management of biodiversity and natural resources. ASEAN also has been working together with ASEAN Center for Biodiversity. These efforts will never stop until Southeast Asia region 100% free from the pollution.
In a conclusion, we might infer that we have succeeded in being decent citizens and making a difference in our fortunate world as a member of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or we call as ASEAN. We also discovered more information on the many types of pollution, including land, water, and air. Pollution in Southeast Asia is one of the most serious human-caused problems that must be addressed if we want to live to see another day and to ensure a healthy future for our descendants. Now it's time to take an action and to ask ourselves, what can we, our family, friends and society do to help this pollution issue? We must never forget that the pollution problem affects all of us, so each of us has to do our best to help restore ecological balance to this wonderful place that we call home. Let's make sure that the water we drink, the air we breathe, and the land we use to grow our food are all protected. I think that's all from us. Thank you.